it up. Let's do it. Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost! We f***ing super lost, man!
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? Makes me want to watch Tropic Thunder again. That movie is awesome. A dump of a stadium. W. Florida State gets off on the right foot. They get the win in Orlando. For the record, Florida State is 10-0-1, I do believe, all time in Orlando. We don't lose in Orlando. You schedule a game in Orlando, I bitch about it, then I go to it, and then we win it. That's how it works when it's Florida State in Orlando, and that's how it's going to work again this year. A hard-fought, well-played game. The more experienced and better quarterback gets the W. We start off on the right foot yet again at LSU's expense.
You know, LSU can't and Jaden Daniels cannot hit Kayshon Boutte in a face mask again this year before. He's not on that team any longer. Daniels is. Their left tackle should be better. That was quite the lesson that was taught in the first game of the season last year. I said it last year at this time. Well, last year before the game started that we had the better quarterback.
And we do.
And it proved to be true. And it's going to prove to be true again. Florida State gets out to a lead, sets the pace, and finishes the job this time without some scary extra point drama. Florida State is 1-0, and you have the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card in your pocket after the first week in Orlando.
Of vital importance, that football game is for the very reason you just expressed. If you win that game, you can lose on the road later to Clemson and still be in the playoff hunt and have that shot at revenge at the end of the year against Clemson. You'll still be highly ranked because of the LSU victory, not because of the subsequent victories over Southern Miss and BC. Just like that, we go WW back-to-back, now 3-0. Yes.
Move sources around. That's what I did.
Well, I just gave you 2 more wins. You got to predict these.
WW. It's almost like the internet. www.time for Clemson. We're 3-0, baby. Woo! We are ranked inside the top 5 in the country heading on the road.
College game day on their way to Clemson, South Carolina, recognizing that the matchup is once again big time. The nation tuning in. And unfortunately, Garrett Riley, new offensive coordinator, snaps Clemson out of their funk, and the Florida State defense fails another test, much to my chagrin, and the first loss of the year occurs. Florida State no longer undefeated. It is a loss on the road at Clemson, September the 23rd, 3-1 headed into the bye week.
Florida State is undefeated as it travels to Clemson. Florida State is undefeated as Dabo runs down the hill. Florida State is undefeated as it's a 25-minute presentation before the kickoff of that game. Florida State leaves Clemson, South Carolina, undefeated, 4-0.
Oh, there he is, always catering to the fan base.
Top 5 in the country. 10-year anniversary. We did it again. We went up there, stuck it to you, Tigers.
I'll be there. I'll go. Tom just plays to the chat. He just wants everybody to love him.
I did last year, and I was right.
Yeah. Bye week, as we lick our wounds, learn from our mistakes. Bye week. I actually would have predicted us.
Win.
I would have predicted us to beat Clemson had the status quo, been what it was. If they had not made changes, Riley went to TCU following the 2021 campaign, in which TCU finished 5-7. He produced the nation's 65th ranked scoring offense. In his lone season in Fort Worth, he transformed that season into the 9th ranked offense in the country, averaging nearly 40 points a game. They led the Football Bowl subdivision with 22 plays from scrimmage of 50 yards or more. He dials up, like his brother, dynamic offenses. Max Dugan went from who the hell is Max Dugan to, good Lord, look at those Max Dugan numbers as a runner-up finisher in the Heisman Trophy voting, an All-American, and he'll do the same for Clemson's offense. That was a good hire.
They could be the 9th best offense at Clemson next year. Still won't be better than our offense.
A shootout.
Elite. Get a couple of stops. Make it happen.
Preston's right to point out that after that loss, that would make 8 wins in a row by Clemson, nearly a platinum Bohica for Dabo. And that is hurtful, but understand the streak ends right there. Understand the streak ends.
So we've already got a W in the
Right.
2024
The
W's
streak
and L's.
ends right there,
wow.
boys. That's where it is.
There's your futures.
It ends at 8. There it is. Bye week. Coming out of that bye week, looking for revenge. On the wrong end of it, Virginia Tech takes an ass kicking in Doak Campbell Stadium, continuing a trend of Virginia Tech football, which is to say, not good. Not good, man.
A more
W.
rabid atmosphere in Tallahassee than Willie Taggart's inaugural game as the head coach of Florida State, because it's a celebration now. Now you're looking around the country. Can we climb to number 1
Oh,
in
number
the
one
college
in the
football
country. Here
playoff
we go.
rankings?
Here we go.
Yeah, other teams slip up. We're right here.
Right there.
We're right here.
Knocking on the door.
It's the first in
Open the
another
door.
set of
Let 'em
wins.
in.
5 in a row to start the season. Second year in a row.
Wow.
5-0.
Syracuse comes to Doak. They're trending in the wrong direction. Tough times at Syracuse. The football team's not any good. They weren't at the end of last year, and they won't be again this year. It is over. Syracuse takes a beating at Doak Campbell. Another win for the Noles as they are off to a 5-1 start, according to me. 6-0, according to Tom. I'm guessing a W is forthcoming.
Yeah, win. It's a little sloppy. We need to look at motivation a little bit. I think Mike Norvell's post-game press conference says, hey, we haven't done anything yet. Need to be consistent week in, week out. I look for better next week. Glad we got the W today. But we move on to Duke. Win.
Duke comes to Doak Campbell Stadium. We're all a little tired having 3 straight home games. But Duke, you're going to have to look out for. They give Clemson a scare early in the season. They have our attention. Elko doing good things at Duke. Nobody confusing Duke for a national championship contender, but the kind of team that can sneak up on you if you overlook them. Florida State with a game at Wake Forest the following week, maybe looking ahead for revenge purposes, never having lost to Duke. We're biting our fingernails at Duke in the Duke game at Doak, heading into the fourth quarter, but the Noles get a couple of late scores to pull away by a couple touchdowns, and it's another W.
Duke couldn't score 20 points if he gave him 6 quarters. They roll on. The Noles on the ground, take care of it. 36-plus minutes of possession time. Noles win.
Undefeated, according to Tom Lang. 1 loss, according to me, at 6-1. We now go to Wake. Winston-Salem will be the site of some perhaps chilly weather, inclement weather, some winds. But Florida State gets their revenge and dominates the hapless Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who have lost too much to overcome despite being a well-coached football team. All's right in the world again. Florida State gets the W. Wake Forest back in your hole. It's a win for Florida State.
Within 4 possessions, 2 for the offense, 2 for the defense, you can see that Florida State circled this game. They are pissed off. They got on that plane. They didn't care it was a sleepy nooner up there. Took care of business. Florida State wins again. It's getting silly in Tallahassee. Undefeated are the Noles.
You going with a Malbec, or you going with a Pinot Noir? You going with a, what you going with, baby?
Little
A
Noir.
little Beaujolais? What you doing?
Little Pinot Noir. Action.
Okay. I'm going to go get the Malbec. At Pitt, I'll be there, and I hope it's cold as hell, but it won't be, because it never gets cold anymore. It's November the 4th, and it will be like 77 degrees, and I'm going to go, what in the world, man? I wanted some cool weather when I came up here, sweater weather, but it's not. Noles go up to Pittsburgh, PA. Great city that it is. Unfortunately, not baseball season, so you folks won't get to see the best stadium in all the land, at least not being played baseball in. You could drive past it. It's right there. Enjoy it. You're all within walking distance the stadiums are. Noles go get a win, but it's a little bit closer than we would like it to be. Good quarterback play, well-coached team, physical team. Florida State has to hang on. We're holding our breath in this one as well, because there's a lot on the line now. Problem is it's sandwiched there after Wake, in between Miami. You get that Pitt game, and I worry about the sequencing. Give me Florida State in a hard-fought victory.
You know, this is a field that unless your name is Jameis Winston, it feels like it's tough to just go up and down and score touchdown after touchdown. Both in the pros and in college. It just doesn't feel like the greatest show on turf. And so, unfortunately for the Noles, they drop a stunner. Pitt secures the win. They are good for one of these as a program. Every once in a while, they get one here.
A devastating loss.
You see the joy in the faces of ESPN pundits as they break down what happened to Florida State today. It's been a wild Saturday, but none more wild than what happened at the former Heinz Field in a 24-21 win for Pitt.
21 points from this offense, and we're asking questions.
We are.
Heading into the Miami game, Doak Campbell Stadium. Now, fortunately for Florida State, Miami, it is November, having already seen their hopes and dreams dashed way back in September. They come in here with the false bravado of most Miami teams. They puff out their chests. The first series of the game, Florida State answers for that loss at Pitt. Up top yet again. Another roasting early in this game for a touchdown. Jordan Travis, and the offense is underway. They light up the Miami Hurricanes yet again, and this is a W for Florida State.
Worst thing that could have happened to the Miami Hurricanes is what happened in Pittsburgh the week before. And for those of us who are like-minded in the gambling game, this may have discounted the line by about 3 or 4 points. Jump all over the Noles when the line opens on Sunday, because
lay them points. Lay them.
After Miami is already not good enough. But when you see the sequence of games that lead into the kickoff against FSU here in Tallahassee, that is a beleaguered bunch.
It's a rabid fan base hungry to get a win.
They'll show their ass in the pregame.
Always.
Like they did when Clemson went down there and they lost 59-0. It's going to be a similar type beatdown to this year. They might get to 10, though. They may score a touchdown. Florida State all over Miami. This game's over by halftime.
Need another Jamie Robinson dismissive flippity-doo of the quarterback. Make it happen. He's not here, but somebody can assume the role.
Absolutely.
North Alabama, I don't know why we're talking about them, other than they are on the list of victories for Florida State.
They made the schedule.
There they are. North Alabama. W for Florida State. Ooh, a lot of backups in this game. A lot of intriguing prospects. We get opportunities in this football game to watch many of our backups lighten it up, and they were excited about the future.
More yards passing against North Alabama. Tate Rodemaker or A.J. Duffy?
Oh, wow. I like it. Tate's going to light him up. Maybe even a rare start.
On the way to a W, in case you needed the reassurance in the chat and on the podcast. Florida State wins the game. 10-1.
If Florida were to solve their quarterback situation, and they have not, but it's a weird time in college football, there is still an opportunity to go get a quarterback. This game would make me a lot more nervous. So perhaps in future W's and L's, the discussion shifts. But as it stands now, they don't have a quarterback. And you need one to beat Florida State. Noles get the win down in Gainesville. It is an unreal regular season campaign. The lone loss coming on the road to Clemson in a toughie. The Florida State Seminoles finish 11-1 and on their way to the ACC championship game for a rematch with the Clemson Tigers.
Down there in hell known as Gainesville, you'll hear the following as you're walking out to get a refill at halftime and Gators fans are leaving the stadium. What they're going to be saying as they're leaving the stadium at halftime
and you're leaving the Purple Porpoise
to get a refill is, thank God Jordan Travis is gone after this year. Thank God that kid's gone.
Let's go to the Lavender Mullet.
And you know what? You get 2 for 1 if you have a mullet. So a lot of Gators will be drinking 2 for 1s that day at halftime. It's 11-1, and we're off to Charlotte. We are off to Charlotte to play for the right to go to the college football playoff.
That's what we're saying. They're saying, let's go to the Brass Monkey.